It's the last run before we crater up. Shrunk the idle jet down again. Got the smallest idle jet, the 135s. The air cleaner's back on there, and she's running pretty sweet. Okay, we'll run the gas out of the carbs here. Alright, there it is. We're going to put it in the crate now and call this one finished. So I had a couple questions about carburetors and my preference. This is what is this, 1914 69 by 94. And this motor would run perfect with a stock set of Cadrons, just rejetted. You know, it's hard to tell what kind of work they've done. I mean, they've done everything to these carburetors. They've have aftermarket Venturis. The Venturi's been resized on it. The throttle blade's been replaced on it. The emulsifier's been changed. The squirter's different. So more than likely these carburetors were built for, you know, the 2300cc motor that they were on. And we've shrunk them down as much as we can with the parts that we have. We've put the smallest jet that we had, which was a 135, and it seems to have more than enough fuel. It still seems to be slightly fat, maybe. Seems to be aggravated by the air cleaners, which would make sense, you know, because the air cleaner seems to richen it up a little bit. But I went back to the smaller idle jets. I took the Dragon jets out. Ideally, probably, you know, like 55s, 50s, somewhere in there would be ideal. The ones that are in there aren't marked. So we got the smallest idle jets we had. We got the smallest main jets, but it still has the large. They got to be 45, 46 millimeter Venturis in there. I don't know. They're or the throttle blades. They're huge. Cadron does make a 44 millimeter carburetor. However, you know, they tend to sell them more for bigger engines. You know, 2 liter and under, you'd probably be good with a set of 40 millimeters. And then for drivability, of course, you know, the more you make stuff all out race, just sort of what these carburetors are. You know, you lose a little bit of dependability, I guess, or drivability, I should say. But it's running really good. I really like Cadrons. You know, those are my carburetors of choice, of course. But I've never had the opportunity to charge or try them with this much work done to them. So normally, what I see, these have everything done in the sun under them. And it makes it sort of complicate the tune when you only have so much stuff. So with more parts, you know, with more air jets and more main jets, more idle jets, you could probably tune it a little better. You know, it's just a tuning thing and personal preference. And then the weather's going to be completely different there, so it might be perfect for the cold weather, you know. It's a little fat here in Florida, but it won't be up there. Somebody asked me if I like duals or singles. I always prefer dual carburetors over singles. Singles are never a good application on a Beetle. When you take a T-barrel and you put it in the center of a Beetle and you put them on the type of intakes they have, they pull too much air through them, and they can be troublesome to tune, and they can make the motor run rich and ice up. At an idle too, the intake manifolds tend to get icy when you increase the airspeed that much. But a nice set of 48 Webers, you know, IDAs, if you're going to do some high performance stuff, are a good way to go. They're very tunable. Cadrons are for a stock to mild motor, and then, you know, you could also go with the an IDF, you know, if you had to, a 44 or a 40. The T-barrel Webers, they're not bad. So Volkswagen motors are seriously undercarbureted from the factory, you know, so they really respond well to carburetors. So we'll do some videos on the blue car. I didn't get to work on anything today because it was raining all day. But my blue car has Cadrons, and I'm probably going to take the Cadrons off the blue car and put them on the bus motor back here, if I can find some single port intakes. So that's the hold up on that. But yeah, ran well. We'll go ahead and take this baby off the crate now and break it down, get the gas tank broke down, and slide the crate forward, or the motor forward on the crate. And then first thing in the morning, me and Hans are gonna finish building the crate. I'm gonna probably deck it instead of leave it open. I might leave it open. Hell, I don't know. It won't hurt anything to be open on the floor. But gotta get a sheet of plywood in the morning. Tired today. And button that baby up. So hopefully you guys, your Volkswagen guys, have enjoyed the, you know, the 1915 build. And we'll get on back to the 2 liter over here. Over here, it's in the bag. Been working on it a little at a time. We'll get on with that build. Need a set of heads for that, and find a home for the 2 liter. Maybe sell that. Thinking about buying a new set of CB Performance 044s or whatever. Some nice heads, and putting on this motor and cutting it loose as a long block. So yep, Got a flat tire on the race car. It's not looking pretty good. Looking sad today. Gotta put some air in there. But yeah, that's about it. A whole lot of nothing. So I just thought I'd come out here and turn this on and make that last video there for Mr. Porter. And the thumbs down guy really seems to like the Volkswagen stuff. So, or just every time I mention Greg Porter, you know, seem to get a thumbs down. So there you go. That's the Porter Power there. You get it, Porter Power. But hopefully that'll be coming to a town near you soon and getting installed in a green Karmann Ghia. We can all go for a ride and hopefully we'll get to see him smiling and not frowning, you know what I mean? So he's going to be more than happy with the power this thing makes, you know. It's a good stepping stone onto the next motor. So there we go, one complete 1915 from boxes to pallet. You know, it's been fun. Some of the videos on this got deleted, but I did make build videos every step along the way. You know, we used the 1970 vintage Berg crank and probably early 80s welded on counterweight 69 from one of their old engine kits. And it's got 94 Seymour piston cylinders. It's got a set of cylinder heads that I ported and valve jobbed, and they're new castings. They were just laying around here. We'd had them cut for the 94s when we did the case. It's a Volkswagen case cut for 94s, and all the machine work was done at a local shop here. Well, it's over in Cocoa. They did the machine work for me, and I had the parts laying around, and then me and Greg got to talking about throwing something together, and this is what we had. So next to the next step up would be like this style motor, which you know, would be all new 4140, 4130 chrome ollie crank, high lift 315 Berg cam. We got the aluminum case here. This is a 90.5 motor. This is a stroker motor, so this is a 2-liter, and this is the next step up, you know, from Greg's motor. You wanted more power, less RPM, you know, more torque, bigger engine. That motor is capable of producing 160 horsepower, and this one's probably in the 110 horsepower range. So doesn't sound like a whole lot more power, but it sure is when you hit the gas pedal. So anyway, there we go. We'll take the oil pressure gauge off. Of course, you don't get that. Doesn't come with one of those, but this motor has excellent oil pressure. So about 100 at a rev, a little less when the oil relief valve opens. That's temperature related. So I noticed that as the motor warmed up, the oil pressure did taper off a little bit. So you just want to make sure that it's warm before you hammer down on it in the cold, because it probably will take the oil cooler off if the oil was too thick or you know, too cold. So that's probably the only other thing we haven't talked about is what kind of oil to use in this motor. And you know, I like plain old Castrol 2050. I did add a thing of the cams, flat tappet camshaft break-in oil additive. You know, the oil should be changed in this sooner than later. You know, if the oil's a little dirty or whatever, don't be alarmed. Usually the first oil change is a little, you know, dirty, and it gets cleaner as you go. So we won't have any filter or anything, and it's all new parts running around in there. So the oil's fresh, of course, new oil. We've only run it a couple times on the floor. But, you know, you might want to change the oil before you drive it a whole lot. Oh my God, Hans, stay off the spiders. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Make sure you run the proper weight oil. Of course, that's some, you can do some serious damage with too thick of oil in the wintertime with these Beetles. So if you're in a cold climate such as yourself, you know, you might want to bump down to like a straight 40 weight, or something that's a little thinner in the wintertime than a 2050. You know, that's probably more of a summer oil. So yeah, other than that, just enjoy it. There's not a whole lot else to tell you. You know, the carburetors are a little bit of a work in progress, like we've talked about, and You know, Greg asked me if these carburetors are fine and you just need to shrink the Venturis. They run better than when they came here, you know, with just a simple jet change. So I would think that shrinking the butterflies back down will definitely help make them act more like stock Cadrons, but I don't know what kind of modifications they've had as far as the squirter passage and, you know, what's been drilled in them. And if you could change the emulsifier back and the actual Venturi in the carburetor, you know, is quite a bit larger now. So as far as changing these back to, you know, for a small motor, I don't know how much tuning you can do, you know, but I still do prefer the Cadrons as far as, you know, if you go buy the MP versions out of the box and, you know, just step the jet up a little bit, you're very, very happy with them. A lot of the other guys like the Weber ICTs. They're one barrel carburetors also. They do seem to run good out of the box, but they don't produce the same power as the Cadron, you know. And the Cadrons and the ICTs would be at the bottom of the performance line, you know, as far as dual carbs go. Recent years, guys have gotten in the business to hot rod these Cadrons and make them better. And, you know, it's hard to beat the original carburetor for what we used to use it for. You know, a set of Cadrons in 09 and a nice little header would make a nice little package on a stock motor. So they're more intended for the stock motor. And, you know, guys over the years have hot rodded them, and the Cadron Challenge has definitely pushed the envelope on what they do to these carburetors now. So, but you'll find these on a lot of my cars. You know, they are my carbs of preference. And if I'm not running a Cadron, I'll probably be running a 48 IDA. You know, it's these Cadrons will take you pretty far, you know, and then when you go to the performance side of it, there's nothing better than a 48 IDA as far as I'm concerned. So I wouldn't waste my money on anything in between. It would either be a Cadron or a 48 IDA for me. So because the 48 is so tunable with the interchangeable Venturis, the various jet stacks that are available, and they're very tunable, different intake manifold lengths, and just a variety of things that are available on those. And those carburetors on this motor would probably make another 30 horsepower. You know, we're talking about considerable horsepower gains too. Of course, this header would have to go, but it is what it is. So, all right, I'm gonna shut this off. Won't be any more videos on this motor. Next time you see it, it's gonna be a box, and that'll be tomorrow. And we'll turn the camera on tomorrow and do some stuff. I'm gonna start working on the Vanacan. Got to start getting it ready. We're gonna clean that up, sandblast some rust, get some primer going on that, and we'll get that rolling this weekend. And we're gonna do that over in the wet sanding shed. So we're gonna swap Lily out and bring her back over here, and get the bus in the shed there, and get the DA in on it. And probably just decided to just go ahead and just do the whole bus. It'd be easier than spotted end, and it'll look a lot nicer, and be a quicker road to finish than trying to match paint that's so old. So talked to Andrea about that. We're just gonna buzz it down. We're painting the sides and the front and the hats, you know. Darren's dad's taking care of the roof, so I don't have to climb up and do a roof. That's great. We'll just do the two sides and the front and the back, and give it that new money look. So that'll be coming up, and stuff like that. So, and the Nova, haven't really got a lot done on the Nova. I did find some parts today. I was gonna go look at some headlight bezels and headlight buckets, rings, and stuff like that, all the trim. I do have some of it got broke, and I think Randy snaked some of my headlight buckets when he was putting his Nova together. So that's where we're at. And yeah, I went to the junkyard today. Was trying to find an early model manual brake car. No such luck. I was gonna take all the brake components and linkage and stuff for the manual brakes. Trying to find all that stuff too, or I might just have to order it new. So there's a couple companies out there that sell that stuff, so shouldn't have a hard time finding that. So that's where we're at, and I'd like to get some work done on this, but I'm not holding my breath. Hans has been helping me, and it's been fun having him work with me on it. And, you know, I think he realizes that this is going to be his car or his sister's car. I'm not building it for me. Of course, I'll drive it, but they're getting to the age now where they can enjoy this stuff now, and he seems to like the Nova, so that's pretty cool. I'm sort of encouraged by that, and maybe it's just a Volkswagen thing, you know. So, we got a lot of mess to clean up. Hopefully we'll get in here and make that happen. Gaten came by last night. I didn't get any video of him, but we'll be going over there this weekend maybe and working on that bus too for a little bit, trying to get him caught up and stuff. So, all right, let me go ahead and shut this off, put some tools up, clean up, break this thing down, and we'll load this one up. Man, there you go. I promise it's the last one. Last time you guys will see this until Greg gets it in his possession. And next time we see it, he'll be doing an unboxing of this box. So that's where we're at. All right, guys, have a good one.